Welcome to this episode of Daily Dose of Dan, episode 11. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I haven't done one of these yet, but it's going to be a 4K movie review with a little bit of factoids thrown in for you for entertainment purposes. I mentioned in other videos that me and my wife are huge into movies. Well, during COVID, I decided to upgrade from Blu-ray to 4K, assuming, that the movie industry was going to take a hit and the theaters may go away. So I was like, you know what? 4K I think is going to be the last physical media. I want to have the highest quality, best sound. So I'm just going to upgrade. And thankfully, the movie industry seemed to have survived COVID. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep on going to the movies and upgrade my. We typically only buy the movies we love anyway. I'm not collecting it just to have them. You know, I want them to have to watch and to share with friends and family, actually. Going to the movies is a huge thing for me, like to hang out with friends and family. I don't even have to love the movie to go see it. It's just an excuse to get together. So anyway, today we're going to do a 4K review of Highlander on 4K. My wife kind of turned me on to this movie back when we first got together, and really loved this movie, and I was like, no, okay, I'll check it out. Rotten Tomato gives it a 70% with an audience score of 79%, which is pretty high. It's 70% fresh for an older movie. That's pretty impressive. The 4K release is amazing. We actually had it on Blu-ray, and was really impressed with like the upgrades and I don't know how much you guys know about 4K movies, but it costs roughly about $100,000 to go through and clean it up and enhance it and whatever, and then it's another $100,000 to put it in Dolby Atmos. So if they don't think that they can, sell enough to compensate those costs, they're not going to do it. And so that's probably why you won't see a lot of movies switched over to 4K because of that. Because if they don't think there's enough people to make a profit on it, then they're not going to do it. A lot of the 4K movies will not upgrade they won't upgrade the audio because it's another $100,000 they got to pony up, and they don't want to. They'd rather make the profit on the visual opposed to the audio. And the audio on the Blu-ray is usually pretty good, DTS usually like that, but the newer movies are often more so in Dolby Atmos, and you can tell a huge difference between Dolby Atmos and the others as well. So the quality of the footage, considering how old of a movie this movie was shot in 1986. So it was actually shot on film. IMDb gives it a 7.1 out of 10. It's an hour and 56 minute runtime. I believe the audio, let me take a look here. It's got the HDR. Yeah, they didn't do a Dolby Atmos on this. So anyway, what I like about this is it's the director's cut. Let me show you here. It's the director's cut. And what that means is they includes a scene. My wife and I, when we were watching it, we noticed that the relationship between him, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but the relationship between him and the lady that tends to run his estate, you kind of pick up a vibe between the two of them. Now, originally I thought they were lovers. She's an older woman by the time we meet her in the movie, but because he doesn't age, you assume that, maybe, this was like his second wife at one point, or someone that he cared about. You definitely pick up the fact they care about each other, is what I'm trying to get to. So anyway, in the director's cut, so in the theatrical release, you never get an answer. You're like, well, okay, whatever. But in the director's cut, they touch on the fact that she was a survivor from World War II, that her parents had been killed, and he saves her. And so she's kind of like his daughter in a sense. So I was like, and it totally makes sense why they would care about each other and stuff like that. So yeah, some little factoids about the movie. The star is Christopher Lambert, and when they decided to pick him, they went through pictures looking for a certain look. Well, he's French and he barely speaks any English. So they didn't know that when they cast him, because I'm sure they're like, oh yeah, he speaks English. Well, not good enough English to carry off an acting role in a movie. So they had to do a lot of work to get it to work outright. It also has Sean Connery and Clancy Brown. Sean Connery, I mean, he's amazing in this. And what's ironic is Sean Connery, let me see here, I'll find a little trivia thing. Had to be, all his scenes had to be filmed in a week due to his scheduling, and he had bet the director that they wouldn't be able to finish in time, in 7 days. But the director won the bet, and they were actually able to finish all his scenes in a week. He made $1 million back in 1986 for his appearance in the movie, and he's not really in it that long. Like, he plays a crucial character, but he's really not in it for very long. Obviously, the quote from the movie is, "There could be only one." Also, it was made. They spun it off into all kinds of series. There are tons of movies about it. So anyway, the storyline. I'm going to read it directly from IMDb. In New York City, the owner of a sophisticated antique shop. Hold on, I'm not having a problem reading it. There's like a button in front of the text. Russell Edwin Nash is challenged to a sword fight in the parking lot of Madison Square Garden by a man called Faisal that is beheaded by Russell. He hides his sword and is arrested by the police while leaving the stadium. Russell recalls his life in the 16th century in Scotland when he is Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod and is fatally wounded in battle against another clan. However, he surprisingly survives, and his clan believes that he is in the pack with the devil and expels him from their lands. Then he meets Juan Sanchez, I'm going to murder this, Villalobos Ramirez, which is Sean Connery's character, who explains that he's immortal unless he is beheaded. Further, the immortals dispute a game killing each other, and in the end there can be only one that survive to receive the prize with the power of the other immortals. Russell is released by the police by the Snoopy forensic agent Brenda J. Watt and is attracted by the case since she found fragments of a sword that shouldn't exist. His sword was made, for some reason my ear's itching today, I don't know why, dry probably. We had a lot of cold weather and it makes it really dry in the house. Also, I mentioned in my other videos, if you're picking up the sound of like whirring or whatever, it's my pellet stove. That's how we heat our home. So hopefully by next year I'll have my studio set up and you won't have to worry about that come next winter. But right now I'm just shooting in my living room, so bear with me, please. So anyway, this is an amazing movie. Like, I'd highly recommend it to any sci-fi fan out there. If you haven't seen it, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, I'm going to do more movie reviews. So be sure to tune in. I think today's positive message is trying to find time to hang out with family and friends. What better way to hang out with friends and family is to find a movie that you have that you want to see in common and share the experience together. Movies are awesome, you know, but it's the time we spend together. So watching a movie by yourself, they'll kill 2 hours. Spending it with loved ones and friends, sharing some popcorn, having a good time, discussing it afterwards, oh, that's gold. And what's nice about it is there don't have to be any politics, there don't have to be any, you know, did you hear this, did you hear that? You can just sit there next to each other, enjoy a film, go on a little ride together. You know, there's very few things in this world that cost so little to enjoy spending time with each other than watching a movie. So if you haven't picked up the hobby of watching movies with friends and family yet, you totally should. I think you'd be surprised. And you know, sometimes it's hard to find things to have in common, but open your horizon to like a movie that you may not have watched, other than the fact that your friends or family recommended it. So I think that's gonna be my message of the day for this daily episode of Dose of Dan. So that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Tune in, make sure you like and subscribe. That's very important. So I appreciate all of you. I love you, and have a nice day.